right. What's up, gang? It's been a little bit. Holiday travels, not our fault. Last week of the NFL season, week 18, obviously going to go live, go through every game, joined, as always, every Sunday by my friend Josh. How we doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Ready to roll for sure. No news.
Josh, one of the best NBA bettors out there, but nobody should even listen to what he has to say about the NFL. That's what the streets are saying.
That was my boy too. He hurt my feelings.
It's like, what am I supposed to say to that?
You're right, man. I do suck at this.
Yeah, you should fade everything I say. Yeah.
Nah, I mean, he's not wrong that I'm better at the NBA, but I don't want to just sit here and say I suck at the NFL. But anyway, no, we'll have some winners in here, I'm sure.
We'll gamble through it. Yeah, I mean, I would have thought NBA was my best sport until this season started. So the reality is nobody knows anything. Like every year is different.
Right.
Anyways, all right, we're just gonna go in order. Looking at Outlier here. Josh and I are both Outlier partners, so just looking at them for the odds as opposed to what I was normally doing, but everything else will be the same. First game here, Panthers versus Falcons. In terms of meaning, the Falcons need to win, and they need the Bucs to lose to make the playoffs. Probably not going to happen, but at least the Falcons do have something to play for. Panthers are just playing for their pride. Do you have anything in this one?
Yeah, I took one play here. It was Bijan over 15.5 receiving yards. If that's still there. There was even a 15.5 receiving on Fanatics as recently as last night, but I don't think that's around anymore.
Looks like the best is 17.5.
17.5, yeah. I didn't really I didn't really cap it past 16.5. I didn't think it was going to move too much past it, but that still sounds okay to me. I mean, obviously you started with Atlanta needs this game. Carolina, terrible run defense. I totally get it. I'm sure Michael Penix is going to be turning around to hand the ball off pretty consistently just to make sure they win this game. I get that. At the same time, what I think is up with this line is simply that he's gone under in 4 straight, and we're just fading recent results. Now, the first 3 that he went under there, 9, 10, 9, that was two targets in each of those 3 games. Last game, back up to 5 targets. Getting a little bit of a groove here with Penix in there. Last week as well would have gone over. First reception was, I believe, -7 yards or something like that. So he was behind the 8 ball after the first reception, then picked up 2 more, but wasn't enough to get back above the 17 yards he would need here, 16, wherever you get this number at. But I still think that's going to be there for them. They're allowing the 10th most reception or receiving yards to running backs on the season for Carolina. They just gave up the 77 to Bucky Irving last week, which was not a good look. But yeah, I just think this is back up in the direction for the usage for Bijan. I mean, he's just dominated the snap share at this point. So if he's on the field that much, he's going to be looking at some targets here. I think you can put him back up to 4 or 5 targets once again, and that should be good for the 18 yards.
Yeah, he had 2 targets in the first game with Penix, but like that game 34-7. If you think the Falcons are going to blow him out again, then maybe there's a concern there. But then 5 last week is pretty good. I went with how do I go back here? There we go. I went with Tyler Algier rushing yards. It's a little bit of it's like a galaxy brain. It was over 33.5 when I got it. 35.5 I would honestly still take. That's like not crazy. I just think they're going to run the ball a million times. I mean, like this Panthers run defense is an abomination. They've given up the most running back rushing yards on the year. That number's just gone up. Like if you go through, like if you look at week 1, it's the most. Week 4, it's the most with the higher number. Week 6, like you just go up every couple weeks. The rushing yards they allow per game also goes up. Last week it was Bucky Irving who went off for over 100 against them. And Algier, I mean, because he's not getting a ton of carries, he's got pretty good yards per carry. Like 4.8 is pretty good. In games that you could probably expect him to get 8 or more rush attempts is what I would guess in this one. I mean, this 18 number was also against the Panthers, is also probably an outlier. Like he's not going to get 18 carries, but if he gets 10, he'll probably get to 50 rushing yards. I just wanted to be safe. Like this one, I didn't quite feel a ladder opportunity because, like you said, it has been Bijan getting the majority of the work. I just think, like, yeah, they need this game, so they're going to use Bijan a lot. I just think they're also like, because they're going to run so much, I think that Algier is going to get some of it as well, averaging 37 per game. So like when he goes over, he really goes over. Only one time did he have between like 35 and 40. So if you wanted to go 40 plus, you could do that. Like plus 1 of 6, you could do that. But yeah, I went with Algier.
The Modi specials.
Yeah, I ended up not doing the 40 plus in this one.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that it was calling to you is just because it's your brand, baby.
Yeah, that is 100%, especially in the NFL. The NBA is a little bit scarier to do that, but
yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, we can move on. Next game, Commanders versus Cowboys. Did you have anything in this one?
I did not touch this game. No.
Okay, so I went Terry McLaurin receiving yards. This is honestly
Terry was my big dud of the week last week. You know how every time you have like, there's like usually some weeks where you have one guy that you went on and then like everybody bet him and then he loses and then everybody comes back to let you know that he lost. Like you didn't know. That was Terry McC for me last week. Mikkel.
Yeah, that's been Trey Young for me the last 2 days. I bet on him 2 days in a row, 12, 13 assists, missed it. Last night gets 14. That's just how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I also did bet on Terry last week and we see 5 receiving yards.
AJ Terrell just manned him up. Yeah.
It was Terrell. But even like the week before, I mean, the Eagles, like they're I mean, look at that second best passing defense. He still went 60 yards against them. One of that was a big play. That's kind of what you get with Terry McLaurin. I just love the targets. I mean, like last week it was a gross game. He still had 7 targets, 6, 10, 8, 6. And because he gets so many deep targets, they're valuable. Like he could get 100 yards on 6 targets, which he's done plenty of times this year. And like the number keeps going down. It's like they think he's not going to play, but I mean, he doesn't have an incentive. So like if you're an incentive person, you only want to bet based off that the last week of the year, that is definitely a little bit scary, but Dan Quinn has come out and said that they're going to try to win. And like they do, if they care about seeding, they do kind of need this game. Like if you're the Commanders, who would you rather play in the first round? The Rams, the Bucks, or then you could go to Philly, play your division rival who like you just put 36 points on, like in the game that Jalen Hurts got hurt. Like that team's going to be, there's no way they're going to let that happen again. I'm not saying the Eagles would blow them out. I'm saying the Commanders would much rather not play them. So like, I think that they are going to play their guys in this one. And it's just a fate of recent results. I mean, like he went under the first 2 games of the year, has yet to have back-to-back games going under anytime this season. And even like the games he went under like 52, 53, like not terrible. Yeah. And then when he did have gross games, 19, 113, 10, 102. So he's shown that he can bounce back. I think that he's going to get targeted a lot, and it's like a good matchup. I mean, the Cowboys defense is in shambles at this point. Like Trayvon Diggs is out. Last week, both AJ Brown and Devontae Smith kind of went off against them. And yeah, I mean, he could hit this in the first half, and they could still try and rest guys.
Yeah, for sure.
This I've seen like Ertz needs 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't necessarily think like Ertz he had 90 yards the entire season. Like I'm not chasing that incentive for Ertz because he had a incentive. Like he's literally never hit never hit 90 yards this season. He's never even hit 80.
Yeah.
I know he had 2 touchdowns last week, but yeah, I don't know. Did you look at it? Like, I guess you said
I looked at Ertz. Yeah, I looked at him. No desire to get in on that. There's some stuff that is just like beyond reach at this point when it comes to these incentive bonuses that everybody wants to hit. Like, you know, you had everyone and their mom hitting a Twitter thread for, 20 tweet thread. That's like, here's everything you need to know about bonus incentives. That started 2 weeks ago. If you think there's any value there left, I mean, what's Amon-Ra St. Brown at 9,200 yards in this game? Like, how does it keep going up? Right. So, I'm not sure to do that. This is really embarrassing. Give me 2 seconds to grab a charger so that all of my shit doesn't die.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I will comment. Or I'll go through some of the comments. I don't work for them anymore. I stopped working there like a year and a half ago. This one I did want to comment on, and we can get Josh's thoughts when he comes back. But I do think that this is, I know I'm on Terry McLaurin, so it's a little bit of like they kind of cannibalize each other. But I do think that this is a good look on Zacchaeus. Like you can get over, looks like 31.5 is where his main line is. You can get on a couple books, BetMGM. In Bet365. So this one, if you think like, fade recent results, there's actually been a tangible change here. They lost Noah Brown. So if you look at games without Noah Brown, you can see that they also happen to coincide. Wait, did I do something wrong? Without Noah Brown. What's going on here?
You have to hit apply after you check it.
I thought I did, but
we did.
Oh, this is going back. Oh, they're going back to last year. That's why I was so confused.
You did last 10, not 2024. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So like Noah Brown missed a couple games at the beginning of the year, but the last 3 games without Noah Brown, I mean, like it's just gotten more. So I think that's a good look. I went with Terry and I didn't want to have 2 receiving props in the same game, but I totally get it with Olamide Zacchaeus because like it has been very good recently, like 8 and 9 targets the last 2 weeks. Granted, like the 9 targets coincides with Terry McLaurin not doing anything, but I mean, 8 weeks, or 8 targets 2 weeks ago against the Eagles when Terry did have a good game. Like, I think there's something there with Olamide. And I honestly think, like, if you're going to go with him, I think he's probably worth a ladder play as well. Like, if you think it's going to be an Olamide Zacchaeus game, just ride that up to like 50 plus for plus 225. I think makes sense. I didn't bet it, but I did get that.
Is that more like the slot versus the boys kind of situation?
That I'm not 100% sure. I didn't look into like I know that Terry like Cliff Kingsbury, as good as the Commanders' offense has been, he's still stuck in his ways where he just never moves his receivers. Like Terry was a left receiver, and that's that. Like, that's just what he does.
Right.
And the Cowboys struggle, especially now that Trayvon Diggs is out. Like, they mix and match their corners a little bit, and Deron Bland will sometimes shadow. But like, I'm not scared. Like, Deron Bland's like, he might get a pick 6. He also might get beat for a big touchdown. So I'm not necessarily scared of that. Anyways, it's enough of this game.
Yeah.
We can move on. Giants, Eagles. I didn't have any official bets in this one, so I'll just go quick. The only look I would have is Malik Neighbors, anything related to receiving, because they're just going to target him a million times, and the Eagles are playing their backup cornerbacks. So like the odd, it just got too high for my taste. Like 73.5 on his yards and 6.5 for a whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but a gross price.
Yeah.
Like no thanks. No thanks. It got too high. It got too high for my liking.
That's the problem with this week, dude. I recorded a show on Friday, and I couldn't get to it, to an NFL show on Friday, and I couldn't get to it to upload it until yesterday. In 20 hours between Friday to Saturday, everything I talked about on Friday was new. It was gone. It was all gone. So even this stuff is like, look, I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. today to like get back in to see what the updated lines were so I could make sure I got them, but I'm still just giving out these bets. And I took Malik Neighbors over 6.5 receptions for minus 110 on mother freaking Friday. So like 2 days later.
That's crazy that was Friday.
It was Friday. I mean, it was gone yesterday, dude. It was gone. Like, I literally cut the video, started to upload it to YouTube, started to watch it back, and was like, oh, this is pointless. Then all of this is pointless. Everyone's just going to watch this video and be like, why would you give me these lines? This isn't even available. So it's just like, whatever. But I still took Malik Neighbors over 6.5. I talked about it at least last, a little bit, but not enough to get it out in time. So, I mean, this is really simple. There's nothing else to look at here. Start with the Eagles playing. They're basically playing last year's secondary. Which means they're playing like the 30th ranked defensive DVOA pass defense from like the end of last season when they were awful. So it's just backups, right? And that's really what it comes down to. Malik Neighbors and Brian Daboll still have something to show here. I mean, more Daboll, to be honest than Neighbors, just being like, hey, it's not my fault. Like, I can still get these guys the ball. I know who my weapons are, and I can get my weapons the ball. So don't fire me. But that's going to be part of the game plan. And then Neighbors, like, just keep going, man. This is one of the best rookie seasons for a wide receiver in the history of the NFL. So just keep going. And I think that'll be what he does here. But I don't know that I would recommend taking anything at minus 155 for him to get 7 receptions,
Yeah, at this point, take the over 7.5 or plus 125 and put like a half unit on it. Like you put the over 6.5 in a parlay piece. Yeah. But you will never, ever catch me playing those odds.
Not in my
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So we can move on.
Yep.
The next game, Bills, Patriots, zero analysis, zero anything. Couldn't care less. You have anything in this one?
I thought about backups there after what happened yesterday. I'm pretty sure everything's null and void, and the Bills are pretty much cemented, right? So I thought about maybe some Ray Davis over James Cook kind of stuff and see if we wanted anything. But I didn't dive into the muck of that, to be honest. So, but I would be looking at backups for Buffalo. They don't even look like they have too much up right now.
That's another problem. Not a lot, like, because the problem is Josh Allen is starting because he wants to keep his consecutive start streak alive.
Right.
But like, it's going to be majority Mitch Trubisky, but I'm guessing the books are just like, we don't know how to price that, so we're not even gonna let you.
Not even mess with that. So we can dip out.
We can move on. Another game that I got. The only one I have, didn't bet it. That it's Nasty Boy season. It's Emmanuel Wilson, not touchdowns. Did they even have yards for him? No, I want to go.
It looks like all the DFS books are the ones with stuff for him.
Okay, so it's the same thing. You can't even bet it because it's the same thing. They don't know what they're doing with this game.
Saturday missed up. I love how the NFL is like, we're not going to have games on Monday to make it fair in week 18, but we're going to have 2 games on Saturday because we still got to make that money. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, everything.
Yeah, they're okay with having those teams have short rests, but not teams from Monday. Yeah. Right. I mean, NFL is ridiculous. So I would have gone.
At first it was like, they didn't want teams to just not try in their game because if they know what already happened, then they may or may not have to try. Well, you just did that again. So yeah. Maybe it would be like his rushing touchdown because he's got 2, like he's got 1 each of the last 2 weeks. Which, like, Josh Jacobs, he even said, like, I'm not going to play that much.
He like basically came out and said it. So if you like,
Yeah.
Wilson's a young guy, they're probably going to get him some run. That's the only way I would go in this one.
Yeah.
All right, Saints Bucks. Everybody's going to want to talk about Mike Evans.
Yeah.
If you got on it early in the week, congratulations. If you did not get on it earlier in the week, no chance.
Sorry.
No chance.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
96.5 at -110 odds.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Well, what's the number he needs? Like 90 or 89
I
yards?
think he needs 92,
92,
I think.
Yeah. So I was always going to get above that. They could force him the ball, I suppose. I don't know. They're going to try to win this game and then
exactly. Like they need to win. Like they can't just mess around. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. It's a Bucky Irving game, man. Like this would be Bucky Irving's time to shine too. Like 100 rushing receiving yards for Bucky Irving would be the play if I wasn't also scared about whatever they're going to do with Mike Evans. Like I don't know. So I didn't even hit Mike Evans once. That was just the only chalky chalk McChalk I played was yesterday's Derrick Henry. But I feel good about it because I told everybody like Derrick Henry's not going to get this in the first half or the first three quarters like you want him to. It's going to be a little bit more of a sweat when he just dominates the second half. So I took that chalky chalk, but I'm out on this one. So
yeah, Mike, he needs 85. His over-under is priced at 96.5.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Zero chance. Yeah. And like the Saints. I mean, I get that Lattimore's not there, but they hate Mike Evans. Like they would rather. I mean, they don't care if they win this game regardless.
Right.
So
Lattimore's not there anymore, at least.
Exactly.
I do wish Lattimore was there. That's like the most fun wide receiver cornerback matchup for a while now. But it's still Saints and Mike Evans. Yeah,
like you can probably get some suppressed if you like other players. Like I've seen a couple comments here about Jalen McMillan. Like you can get some suppressed numbers elsewhere. Because of the Mike Evans one is so inflated. So like McMillan's been great the last 4 weeks. His over-under is only 41.5. That's honestly where I'd go. I would go the other options over anything.
Yep.
But no, I didn't bet it, so we can move on. We'll get to games that I actually bet. Another one that so this is your favorite game of the week, Jags Colts. What do you have in this one? Brian Thompson, BTJ, is that what you're going?
No, I'm not going back to BTJ in this one. I'm going back to the Joe Flacco connection with my namesake, Josh. Yeah. I mean, this dude with Joe Flacco is, I'm not going to call him Jerry Rice, but can we give him like,
I'm not going to not call him Jerry Rice.
I'm not calling him that. Thank you. Yeah. So for JD, as we'll call him, I mean, this is really simple. If you look at the numbers with and without, right. What's his name? Joe Flacco in there. I'm pulling my notes. They got lost here. Sorry.
I mean, I got
a difference. Or you can have it right here. You have it with Joe Flacco here. Yeah, there you go. So that's a lot of green. That's pretty easy. This is man defense versus Josh Downs, slot receiver. I believe he has the 5th best. He's ranked 11th in yards per route run against man. So let's start there. He's got the 5th best separation percentage there as well when he's playing against man as well, which is absolutely insane out of the slot specifically, but out of the slot, man coverage, 5th best separation numbers. And that includes games once again, where he's just got a good amount of unrealized air yards despite a low ADOT because he's still just not getting good looks from AR, who's not going to be in there for this game. So it's really just as soon as I see, Joe Flacco in there with Josh Downs, I'm like, great, wonderful. We have Josh Downs' actual like helpful quarterback in there for him. So let me go with that one. And the only this would be a game where if like it mattered at all, maybe I'd be a little bit more like, I think they're just gonna like feed Jonathan Taylor and just have him ride him to the victory here, but they don't even need it. So the Josh Downs I think is a good look. That's actually solid. Flacco is going to try. He's a vet. The Jags pass defense is just absolute dog doo-doo. They're just terrible. And then someone, I guess there's some incentives out for BTJ. I mean, he's also getting just hyper targeted, but like his over-under is 80.5. He needs 60 yards and a touchdown. Like maybe you could take a touchdown. Let's see what that like. One touchdown's plus 120. That's probably where I would go. The yards, no, thank you. I can't believe BTJ's at plus 120 these days too. That's crazy.
I know. The incentives, like we've jumped the shark on incentive betting. Like it's gone too far. Like Evans should never be priced at 96.5.
Yeah, we've gone crazy.
Yeah. Texans, Titans, another one. I got nothing.
Texas, nothing. I mean, what's Tony Pollard is the popular incentive play in this one, right?
But he might not even play. Like
exactly. That was a good essay. Yeah. So I got nothing. Yeah.
And like he's minus 135 to score. Everybody's like people are all over it.
Yeah, I didn't even take any TD plays this week. I have one look that I even considered, but I just was like, you're giving me like plus 165 for second wide receiver twos on the touchdowns this week with this incentive crap. I'm out,
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
This next one I did have a play in, but I think the odds got nuked. So we can go to it. I mean, this one is, I just bashed the incentive one. This is where I went. It was Cortland Sutton. Yeah. So I took him 80 plus receiving yards. I got that number at 165.
Plus 165?
On 80 plus receiving yards. It's now best offered at minus 130. So no, thank you. Like this is a pass. I do want to give a shout out. He's in here in the chat. Hopefully he's still listening. He asked about Von Miller sack. There are no props out for that game for the Bills one, but shout out to the Hawk, Crank, whatever you want to call him. I was just about to see. I know he's in here. He's always watching.
But yeah, he's everywhere.
It's a dart throw on Carson Wentz anytime touchdown. It's plus 950. It's a total quarter unit if you're going to bet it. But I mean, or is it really 500 now? Oh, they don't have FanDuel up here. I was going to say, let me check to make sure that it's still
for him to run one in.
Yeah, for anytime touchdown plus 950. He did it last. He did his only game he played last year. He did it. Carson Wentz. God, every time I say that name, I just cringe. Hold on. These books are. There's something weird. There's something weird. Something
do you remember weird. When you were, as an Eagles fan, when you were upset that Wentz got hurt, so Nick Foles had to come in? Do you remember that brief moment in time?
I am so glad I was not in this industry when that happened, because the amount of regrettable things I said about Carson Wentz or about Nick Foles. I mean, like I was inconsolable when I was like, this moron Nick Foles, he stinks. Oh, they locked everything. That's why. So Carson Wentz touchdown was plus 950. I hit that for a quarter unit. When he starts, he's running one in. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
They don't have any Chiefs plays, but I also like Noah Gray. Noah Gray, receiving yards, touchdown, whatever it may be. I think they locked everything, but we can see like maybe some books have it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like looks like plus 575 at Caesars. The Denver defense is bad against tight ends, and Carson Wentz loves targeting the tight end. Like that like that's just what it is. He's like back to his Ertz days. Even when he was on the Colts, it was a lot to like those Jamoke tight ends, whose names I forget. Mo Alley Cox was one of them.
On the Colts, yeah.
When he was on the Colts, yeah. So I would go with honestly Noah Gray yards, Noah Gray anytime touchdown, Carson like just a couple dart throws.
Yeah,
and Noah Gray's like Kelsey's out for this game. They've given up the second fewest touchdowns, but 13th to tight ends. So like there's a huge gap in how they guard tight ends. But anyways, I've rambled a lot. Did you have
that's where I've gone with Noah Gray too. And just to keep going off the rails for a minute, who was the white guy from Stanford who was Andrew Luck's buddy? And then
Dallas Clark.
No, it was actually after Dallas Clark. It was like Colby something. I forget his name, but he was supposed to be really good. Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget who. He ended up not making it, but he was that was one of those random white guy tight ends on the Colts as well. Obviously, Mo Alley Cox not the white guy, but
Kobe Fleener.
Fleener. What a name.
I looked it up. I didn't pull that.
I heard you typing. And then there was also Jack Doyle. Yeah, there was just a whole parade of these guys coming through Indy. I got nothing for this game. I didn't want to touch this one, but I do think the Chiefs win, and I do think Carson Wentz plays football next year. So I don't know how you bet on that, but that's what I think comes out of this.
Go ahead, parlay Chiefs money line with does Wentz play football next year? Go ahead and put that in a parlay.
Hard hitting shit today.
Noah Gray anytime tater, Carson Wentz anytime tater is going to bring you to glory. That's week 18 betting for you.
Yep. This is fair from Fire Doug Peterson. That is a fair statement. I feel the Carson Wentz. That makes a ton of sense.
Well, Fire Doug, I guess that's because he's a Jags fan. I thought this was
it'd be Jags fan stuff now.
Yeah. All right. Cardinals, 49ers, nothing.
No, nothing. Whatever Ricky Pearsall's props are, I just keep hitting those. Ricky Pearsall is so freaking good at wide receiver. He's probably already the best wide receiver on this team right now. Maybe if Ayuk was still good and healthy, fine. But Pearsall got shot in the chest, So we just didn't realize how good he was until he got on the field. Last week was his homecoming, but he's had at least 4 targets in the last 3 weeks. When he gets 4 targets, he gets 2 receptions. When he gets 2 receptions, he gets 20 yards. This is going to be a little bit higher this week, but I think you still hit this at 40 plus, like for even money. I think Pearsall is going to just come out and not care. He's just going to be the dude they feed. So it's going to be big game for Pearsall again.
I like that. Yeah. I had Juwan Jennings last week, so every Ricky Pearsall play, which just made me sad. A couple things. Murray's got a rushing incentive. I kind of think Kyler Murray's a loser, so like I can't imagine him actually doing anything that important in this game, the last game of the year. He's looking forward to playing Call of Duty. And then the Hawk asked about Dobbs rushing yards.
The astronaut.
He's probably going to run a lot. The astronaut, the physicist, he's like a genius. I don't know what he's doing playing football.
I know. Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think that makes sense.
Is that like 20 something?
27.5.
Wow. It's been a while since I've been on Josh Dobbs, so I have to go take a look at it. But just love cranks on with all the looks all the time.
It was back to last year. I mean, yeah. All right, we can move on. This is week 18, babe. Maybe we'll do some NBA a little bit.
Yeah, I'm down to like at least look at it. I haven't done enough yet for the NBA, but down to at least look at it.
I put 3 bets in, so for people that want bets that they know are going to lose, go ahead and lock those in. Seahawks Rams. There's a couple incentive things here. There's like a Geno passing incentive, but his number's too high. Like his incentive is in the 100s. His over/under is at like 250. So that doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. This is how I played that though. Did you play anything in this game for that?
No, I didn't.
Just while you're on the Geno thing though, 186 yards, but he needs to maintain his completion percentage. So in order to like the completion percentage minimum came with the bonus. So he needs the 186 plus he needs to maintain, I think it's like 62% completion percentage, nothing crazy. Just be good and normal good, not like bad. And I took Zach Charbonnet. I don't know if it's still there. I took him over 20.5 receiving yards as a result of that. Because I do think you dump it off to the running back. He's still in his last 4. Now, granted, his last 4 is skewed because he had 1 good game in the last 4. So this game is strictly just you go back to Zach Charbonnet, who's going to be playing because there's no Kenneth Walker in there. And because of that, you've got a moment in time where Geno needs to get some yards, but he needs to get the completion percentage as well. Who do you go to other than the guy that you've been targeting 4 times a game for the past 4 games in Zach Charbonnet? I think he's good for the 20.5. This is what's the number on this right now?
It's minus 110. Or sorry, this is over 17.5 at minus 110.
Wow. This actually went down from 20.5, which was minus 110. So great. Wonderful. Grab it.
Yeah, makes sense to me. I bet him in this game and he went under, so he's on my not that list.
Classic.
Anyways, a couple people are asking about JSN because I think he can set a record for receiving yards in an individual season. I believe is the play. Eddie Leo has been all over JSN.
He's filthy.
Jason's nasty. Oh, he's nasty. Gino loves him. I didn't bet it, but I mean, if you just look at that, fade recent results, sure. That makes total sense. He also has been asking about, this is back to the Bucs game, Rashad White rushing yards. Yeah.
Is there incentive there?
That I don't know of if there is an incentive.
If they need to win, Bucky Irving is the bell cow now. Like he's right. Like he's not getting taken out unless he really needs to. So I don't really know what that would be about. This is interesting actually, because I do think Blake Corum, I wasn't even sure Blake Corum was going to play, but this one would be interesting, right?
This is one that I did want to touch on. So I didn't bet it in the odd. This is another one that the market has just caught up too much. I mean, like it opened up at 57.5. Now I guess that's not 5 yards isn't terrible. No. But yeah, this would be it. It would be Blake Corum. Like if we're going off of hit rate, no, thank you. But we're not going off of hit rate because they're resting Kyron Williams and he's a good player. Blake Corum's a good player. He's been getting more work recently. If you look at the beginning of the year, I guess this was a game where they got blown out 41-10. Like the last 5 weeks, 8-3, 5-3. This was, 13-9, 12-6. So like that makes sense why he didn't have anything in those games. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Blake Corum, I think makes sense. I'm not going to bet it. But yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yep, I agree.
All right. I think we're getting to the end of it. Chargers, Raiders. There's 2 I wanted to get your thoughts on. Yeah. The one that I actually think is could be worth it is Bowers. Yeah. Granted, his odds have also gotten nuked, but at least his hit rate is like reasonable. 72.5, but like 77, 99, 140, 126. And the line movement on this one hasn't really caught up I mean, 74.5 to 76.5 is fine. He's also trying to break rookie records. Him and Neighbors are basically like going to go at it. I think it's the receptions, but his receptions is like 7.5 for minus money.
Yeah.
Or no, okay, it's plus money, but like, I don't know, 8 receptions.
I think it was minus money, dude. And what happened was the Steelers lost. And now the Chargers have a lot more to play for. Right.
Because they avoid the Ravens in the first round.
Precisely, if they win. Yeah, because they're going to be 6, perhaps, right? So
if the Chargers win, they'll be.
If they lose, they won't get 6. And then
correct. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
yep. Correct.
Yeah. They want 6 to avoid the Ravens on the first Sunday of action or first week of.
No, they want 5 because they would play the Texans. So they want
Chargers above 6. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Either way, Chargers win, they can avoid playing the Ravens in the first round of the playoffs. That's a big deal. That was why I was like, hey, if the Steelers win and this game means nothing, let me go smash Brock Bowers in a pointless game. You got a rookie trying to get stats like I said, in a pointless game. But it's not anymore. The Chargers need to win, and I can see them laying the smacketh down. That doesn't mean that Brock Bowers isn't going to get targeted 14 times in this game. It just means I don't want to bet what I see to be a circus of Chargers trying to get into the end zone and doing everything they can to just dominate that putrid Oakland, listen to me, Las Vegas offense.
And who's even the quarterback for the Raiders? Is it Desmond Ridder?
I think O'Connell is back under center.
He's back. See, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I mean, if it's O'Connell, I actually don't feel that bad about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet it. The other one that I want to get your thoughts on that I know is a popular one is, just kidding, Dobbins.
Yeah.
He's due for an incentive. Someone just mentioned it. Waterhead, excuse me.
Yeah.
No shame to Waterhead. And I know that the Hawk has been on it as well, wherever he is. He's in here lurking somewhere. Oh, here we go. So this actually is it. 8 receptions away from the most receptions by tight end in NFL history. I knew there was something.
Rookie tight end or tight end?
No, just tight end.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, his numbers are crazy. That actually I think could be. I mean, it's plus 110. Like you would love for 8 receptions to be way better than plus 110.
Oh my God.
But maybe they force feed him. That actually could be a look. I'm not going to bet it. But that could be worth it. Anyways, Dobbins.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, go ahead.
He needs 58 rushing yards. You know the Chargers want to get it. Like they love Dobbins. Like
they do.
What's his face brought him over from the Ravens. Sorry, their OC. No, yeah, Harbaugh, but then their OC.
Oh, got you.
I forget the guy's name.
I need to know again.
It's whatever. It doesn't matter. But yeah, they love him. He had 135 against them, but that was literally the first game of the year before his legs.
Greg Roman, my bad.
Yeah, Roman. There we go.
Yeah,
I just watched Gladiator last night. I should have known that.
on that. Yep.
But anyways, this is another one that I didn't bet, and the odds have gotten kind of nuked. Like it's up to 67.5, and he only needs 58 rushing yards.
Yeah.
So if this game gets out of hand,
get it in the first half. Yeah, I mean he could probably get that in the first half against this Raiders defense. Yeah, I'm with that stuff. There was another one from We the Fifth too. He was talking about. I didn't know if you meant to click on it, but he was saying Mark is MBS as well in that. Where's he at?
States.
NOLA right now? Yeah, in the NOLA game. Is Carr going out there?
I'm pretty sure Carr's out. I think it's it's Rattler.
The rat.
Yeah, the rat tail.
Rat and Riz today.
I mean, plus 456 for a touchdown isn't terrible.
That's on there.
Oh, that's underdog. 450 on.
Yeah, that's a sprinkle.
450 on 365 isn't bad.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The last game and by far the best game of the day. Not even close. I'm glad this is Sunday night.
We skipped one game, by the way.
Oh, which one did I skip?
We skipped because I do want to finish on the game that we probably could have spent the majority of the show on, which is that tight.
You're right. We did skip this game. I got nothing.
I got 2.
Okay.
I'm not doing this because I like Aaron Rodgers. I'm doing this because this might be the last time we see Aaron Rodgers play football, and this team has like a 57% pass play percentage. So I'm taking Aaron Rodgers to get 2 touchdowns passing. I hope I don't have to make that clear, but yeah, passing TDs. Over plus 1.5. Okay, I got a plus 145. Fine with plus 135. Last game, like I said, high pass play percentage. By the way, he needs 1 to get 500 career passing.
That's correct.
I mean, I think he's good for 1. I'll take plus money for him to get 1 more. End of analysis. And I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers anymore. But I do want to say, unfortunately, that also probably means under 51.5 rushing yards for Breece Hall, which was one of my more favorite plays of the week.
Okay.
One of my more favoritist plays.
More,
51 and a half. Yeah, you can still get that.
Still 51 and a half. Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, I think that's solid.
Reason being, he's below 50% in snaps 2 of his last 3. That was after missing week 14 with the hammy. Then we've got Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis combining for 52% last week. The Dolphins have not allowed 50-plus to one guy, specifically since Kyron in week 10. That includes Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, and the illustrious Patrick Taylor on San Francisco. Couldn't get through it without laughing. Patrick Taylor's not that bad, but then, yeah, like I think the farewell game for Rodgers just eats into anything for Hall. I don't think the routes are going to be there necessarily, but I'm only going under on the rushing, which means I just don't think he's going to have the snap share to get there either. So I think you go under 52. This was like my most football smart analysis play that I could come up with this week. I wasn't like, hey, this guy needs to get 1,000 yards in this game to get, $1 million or whatever. So this was the one that I was like, hey, I would take this on any given week that the Jets didn't have a chance and didn't need it like the Dolphins need it. So Dolphins, by the way, really, really good defense right now. Top 10 in the league.
Yeah.
It's been quietly there all season. So yeah,
I need to ban someone from my Discord who's one of those losers that posts how do I do this? How do you ban someone on
right click them?
Right click their ban. There we go. Yeah, you're gone. Whack, you're gone.
So aggressive.
Yeah, some loser coming in like, get my free picks like in Discords. I can't believe people have that little time on their hands. Anyways, another one that I wanted to talk about was if A-Rod is throwing 2 taters, one of them is going to Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
he's plus 140. Aguirre is crank's been all over this. I think it's great. I mean, no notes makes complete sense. He's definitely getting 500 pass, or he's definitely getting that 500th passing touchdown. Yeah, he's going to force feed the ball to Adams.
Everybody agrees. We got Smooth Criminal agreeing. We got Matthew agreeing.
Great
Eddie,
name.
well, no, Eddie was talking about Rashad again, but we got the Mayweather. Everybody's on that. Adams ATD Swish is in here. Yeah, I love it for sure.
And this is one that's actually bettable because it's plus 140, and like plus 140 for Adams is a reasonable price. Like you're not playing. I guess they don't give you the line movement on that. But that's reasonable.
Yep.
So yeah, I would. That's a worthy hit for sure.
Yep.
All right, now the game that actually matters.
The only game anybody wants to watch this week.
Yeah, and of course the odds on this have gotten crazy out of hand.
Stupid.
I'm sure we're probably on the same plays, but I'll go through mine real quick. It's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, is it JJ and Amon-Ra?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Let's get into it.
And like the odds have just gone crazy. Like I got JJ. Whoops, I got him at 100 plus. So it's right now it's plus 116. Although it doesn't give you I love Outlier. The odds that they pull are a little bit wonky because they're only giving you three lines. Right. So you could get a better price on 365.
That's because if you hit alt lines next to over 99.5, hit alt lines, and then you can see a bit more of where the other books are showing you other lines. Is that what you're looking for?
No, I'm just looking for because more than 3 books have 90 plus or 100 plus.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
You see what I mean? And they're only showing FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars. Let me look at another.
Yeah. I will say Outlier's gotten a lot better at pulling through odds up to date, like up to the minute, rather than like you being like, wait, can I even trust these odds and having to go to the book every time? They've gotten a lot better, but yeah, there's some wonkiness there with them only showing 3 books for 100 plus.
Yeah. So let's see, 100 plus. Okay. That is the best. That's still the best offered price. So the other books have it, but you're not getting better than plus 116. So we're good to go there. I got this at plus 142. So like the line movement on these are crazy. I honestly still think it's worth it for plus money, plus 116. Because if you just line shop that like real quick, Bet365 is minus 110. BetMGM minus 110. DraftKings minus 105. You're playing minus money across the board. I don't have a ton of analysis isn't really needed here. 14, 13, 11 targets. The matchup against the Lions, the most receiving yards allowed to wide receivers specifically. Justin Jefferson, I believe he crushes man coverage. I forgot to write that part down. Do you have that information
on his stuff versus man
versus zone? Because the Lions are a man heavy team.
Yeah. They're all man. Campbell refuses to do anything. But
Campbell and Glenn, they're DC. Yeah.
Glenn. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, Aaron Glenn. Yeah. Let me pull that up right now because I do have it tabbed for the alignment stuff. If we look at that. He's in the 91st percentile.
Okay, I was like, that seems bad.
91st. I always do that
Okay.
incorrectly. He is in the top 9% of receivers.
There we go.
Let's put it that way when it comes to separation against man coverage.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, here's a stat or a thought that you won't get anywhere else. Justin Jefferson, good at football.
Yes, that is brilliant. I love what you're build on that for you. He's also really fucking good at basketball. Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I like the yards. I got it. I took the receptions over 6.5. I ain't scared. I think if he gets 7, he's getting 100 for sure. So do with that what you will. I think both are really good plays. And the 6.5 is gone. I got it at like -110. Obviously, now it's gone. But yeah, also this team in the last 5 weeks now, 300 after Brock got 377 against them last week. This defense is allowing 307 yards per game the last 5 games that it's played football. That's insane. That's
Seems
a lot.
Bad.
And it's
bad.
Riddled with injuries. Right? Like that defense just got beat to a pulp. So I
feel incredibly bad for the Lions and Lions fans because like that's a Super Bowl caliber defense when they have their players, but they just don't have their players.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean 7, 7, 7, 10, 8. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. The other incredibly sharp play that you won't hear anywhere else is Amon-Ra, St. Brown. These odds have also gotten crazy. So this is what I took. 70 plus at -108 is now -180. I skipped 80 plus and then I laddered him up to 90 plus for +210, now +120. And I took 100 plus at that's 110. I took 100 plus at +300 is now +176. So these odds are crazy. If I'm playing this right now, I'm just taking 90 plus and 100 plus. Obviously, you will not catch me taking 80 at -180 odds. But yeah, I mean, again, don't need a ton of analysis here. The second most receiving yards allowed to wide receivers in the NFL. They have, and then head-to-head, 108, 106, 144, 112 yards against the Vikings. 112 was this year. These 2 were last year. So even if those don't count, still 112 this year on catching all 8 targets, which is what you get from Jared Goff. The only negative is the Vikings are a heavy zone team, and Amon-Ra is better against man. Sure. TJ Hawkinson is their zone guy, but one that helps this bet is that Amon-Ra lines up the majority of the time in the slot, like over 50% of the time in the slot. And the Vikings, and I have this written down in my notes, on the season, the Vikings have allowed the 7th highest target rate go to the slot position. And then since week 11, the 2nd highest target rate go to the slot position, which makes sense because like when teams their heavy blitz, heavy pressure team, the slot receiver, running back, tight end is always a safety valve. So that makes sense. Yeah, that's you could also go receptions if you think it's going to be that because 12, 7, 8 in the games. The odds on that are terrible. So if you're betting that, bet over 7.5. But again, 8 receptions for +111. I don't necessarily think that's worth it. Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyways, I probably stole all your glory, but do you have anything to add?
No, not at all. So I'll just add Swish is adding like if you get the one, it's interesting. I don't know if we're that galaxy brain on this, but like St. Brown 9 receptions, he's at 109. If he gets 9, he does get the most on the season. So even more than just like stopping Jamar Chase from having that triple crown there, he's also talking like about just himself being the leader in the NFL of receptions on the season. Could easily see it. I just think he's also just got such a better matchup than Jameson Williams, who got 4 yards, or was it -4 yards in the last matchup with Minnesota?
It was not good.
On the outside, Byron Murphy, greater than Stephon Gilmore, old Stephon Gilmore. I know everyone hears the name Stephon Gilmore and they think awesome player for the Patriots and others over the last like 10 years, but not anymore. The man's pretty much out to pasture at this point. He's playing in the middle of the field, defending slot receivers for Minnesota at this point. So that is Amon-Ra all day. They're also going to play a little bit of that sort of flex zone where sometimes they are going to bring their safeties down and sort of step up into the middle field. Sometimes they're just going to keep them pushed back and play a cover 4. We've seen Brian Flores do that a lot. So I think I don't know why. I've been following Brian Flores for a long time, so I just really look at his schemes and his coverages a lot. I think he's obviously really good.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, that's where we're at with that one. I think Amon-Ra's good for the 100 today. I think they're both good for 100 today. It's chalk as hell, but that's what this is right now, week 18. So I think it's gonna be back and forth.
And like important NFL games, I don't always mind going chalk because it's not like the NBA where if it's like a playoff series, it's like maybe one game the star doesn't show out. You know what I mean? It's like you have 7 chances to go off, where in the NFL you don't. Yeah. And yeah, to your point, -4 receiving yards against the Vikings last time for J-Mo. And J-Mo just blew up. Like he just had 7. I guess maybe I'm thinking of 2 weeks ago. But I think he had 2 touchdowns last week, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So like they're going to be looking out for him a little bit. Obviously, like he's not going to get the majority of their coverage, but yeah. So anyways. Cool. All right. Well, that's everything for the NFL. Do you have anything else that you want to add? Anything in the comments that we might have missed? Yeah, we did actually. So sorry to interrupt you. I know
go ahead. Yeah, get it.
We did cover this yet. I get it. I personally don't think it's worth it for Kyler Murray. He doesn't. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have biased views towards Kyler Murray, who I think is kind of a loser. But 50 plus rushing yards. He doesn't, like sometimes he just decides he doesn't want to run, and like maybe for money he will. But yeah, I don't know. Not for me.
No, I'm good on it too. We talked about it. I was good on it. I did take Charbonnet on the receiving since Young Rule was asking about that too. Excuse me. So I do like him for 17.5 is what you can get the receiving for Charbonnet. That was partly based on Geno needing to get yards, but also needing to keep his completion percentage. Seems like it would make sense that you throw thrower to Max Charbonnet.
Yeah, words are hard.
Words are hard.
Yeah,
this
he does.
From T. Sims too. I'd like both teams to score a TD in each half. So they each score at least 1 touchdown in the first and the second half. I can see that. I just think there's going to be throwing a lot, so I think it's a look.
Yeah, you could probably get some good value on like those are always good. Yeah.
And not a bad point by Swish. Like, you know what I mean? People were talking shit. Like someone was like, Derrick Henry don't give a damn about no $500,000. I was like, listen to what you just said.
Yeah, these players care about their money. Trust me, they care about their money.
It's like Bill Gates, dude. People care about $500,000.
Yeah. All right. We can quickly do NBA. Because I do have a couple. I don't know if you even have any looks you want to get.
I'm about to get into it here in just a little bit. So, but I've got thoughts. Don't worry about that.
So I took 3. I took 2 in this game. Somebody did ask. Thunder versus Celtics. I have 2 in this one. I took SGA points. Celtics, like, look at that. Pick and roll ball handler, third most. Isolation, third most. These guards can have success against them. Like, it's kind of weird when it's like back to back. So like Cunningham 27 and then only 18. Cam Thomas 31 and then only 17. Garland 8 and then 22. But if I guess like they don't compare SGA, because if you look at Donovan Mitchell versus the Celtics, I mean, he consistently puts up 30 against them. I guess it's not counted here.
It might not go back far enough, right? Is the only thing. If you go by position, it just might not.
Yeah, that's probably it. You're right. But just trust me. You know this. Donovan Mitchell goes off against them. Obviously, a little bit of a different shot profile. Donnie pulls up a lot more from deep than SGA. But last year he played the Celtics once. He put up 36 against them. I took over 31.5 at -110. Looks like that's still available. I also think his threes are a good look. 2.5 is minus one or plus +145, +155. Like I think that's solid. He's been shooting a lot more this year than he has in previous years. Granted, you see a lot of that was last year. So you see a lot more green this year compared to last year. And the Celtics, they'll let you pull up. The difference is like SGA pulls up when he has a lot of space, and they're not going to give him that. It's not like he pulls up with under pressure like you see from other guards. But yeah, you have any thoughts on this one?
Not from 3, yeah. No, I do. I have no problem with SGA. I mean, he's been right up about 30, 31. Did you got this at 31.5?
31.5, yeah. So and it's still available right here.
Yeah, there are some 31s available. No. I mean, look, you're taking a pull-up shooter versus the Celtics, the ball handler and pull-up shooter. Like the primary scorer, who is a scoring point guard, is going to be the play against Boston all the time because that's what they want you to do. They're like, go ahead. Shai can have 35 if he wants, but nobody else is getting 25 or 20 even.
Yeah.
Like nobody that's going to shoot a spot up shot or a catch and shoot shot is going to do well. And here's another thing that I like, which is that Matt is talking about going to go watch the Thunder tomorrow play the Wizards, right? I don't know who we're going to see from the Thunder playing tomorrow. So they're going balls to the wall to win this game against the Celtics, knowing damn well that they don't care if Shai plays tomorrow. They don't care if J-Dub plays tomorrow. They'll just put in their army of backups who are all very, very, very good as well.
Who will still beat the Wizards.
Who are still better than the Wizards. Like right now, would you rather have Kayson Wallace or Jordan Poole? If you're asking anybody that doesn't really watch hoop, you're just immediately going to answer Jay Poole. I would take some time to think about it and say, I don't care. Give me either of them. I probably would rather have Kayson Wallace. So
not even close. I'd rather have Kayson Wallace, in my opinion. Not even close. Yeah. Jordan Poole he had one good year against with the Warriors. He's consistently been a losing player, consistently.
Oh, 112. Okay, never mind. You wrote Sunday. You meant next week, but I thought it was my main point there was know who the teams are playing tomorrow if they're playing a back-to-back. Like if this is the first leg, we all like to know, oh, they're on the second leg of a back-to-back, so they're going to get well, if they're on the first leg of the back-to-back and tomorrow
See
they're
who
playing, then there's going to be something there too. Yeah. So
yeah, but even if the Thunder were playing the Nuggets tomorrow, like they're going to go out to beat the Celtics. If
right,
you know what I mean, like that. This is the cream of the crop.
Right.
I didn't bet it. I looked at his rebounds.
Oh wow.
No offer. There's something funky. Let me refresh this. Because it was like 5.5 earlier. Yeah, there we go. I did want to bet his rebounds, but like the hit rate isn't great. Like he averages about 5 per game. The Celtics are a rebound team for guards, but like it's been more at the beginning of the year than the end of the year. They take a bunch of threes, so it leads to a lot of rebounds for guards. So you could do like a PR PR if you wanted to.
Yeah.
36.5, but I just thought that the points was a little bit safer.
Well, so the boards are 4.5 in some spots. So
4.5 is super juiced 4.5.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is, so if it's 5 right there and the points are
31.5.
Yeah, so he needs 37. So yeah, 36.5 is fair, and you de-juice it.
Yeah,
like I think that makes sense. You have to take 36.5 PR.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Just to make sure the math adds up in terms of he needs 5 boards, he needs 32 points. So he should need 37 PR. Yeah, so we're good there. I think that number still adds up. It gives you a little bit of value on both sides of like the rebound and the points kind of thing.
Yeah, and last year against the Celtics, if I remember correctly, he had 6 rebounds. So like, but only 7. That's what scared me off. Only 7 rebound chances. Like that's way too high of a conversion rate for me. Granted, it's one game, but still.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, in this same game, another super chalk one is Tatum rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like, anybody that knows me knows I see missing it in 4 straight. That makes me want to bet it even more, especially after cashing it. What's this, 8 straight games? He hit the over and like annihilated the over 11, 10, 13, 12, 15, 15. Like, that's going to happen. That's the nature of the beast. He's not Jokic. He's not going to average 12 rebounds per game. So the fact that he hit it in 8 straight and then missed it in 3 straight, I think is solid. It's a good matchup against the Thunder. Like, they've given up the second most rebounds in the entire NBA. If you look at players similar to Tatum, 6 of 8 have gone over. Josh Hart missed it in a weird game that I bet him on. So that's how I know it was a weird game. But like 7, I don't think it needs that much. I got it at -110. Looks like that was on FanDuel. Yeah, they don't have FanDuel up on here.
FanDuel has stopped pulling through for whatever reason. It's really annoying.
Let me see if that's still available.
The thing with Tatum rebounds is going to be is Kristaps playing.
I think he's in.
Not hurt. Yeah, he's good to go. But that's what it is with Kristaps on the season. It's like 2 more rebounds per game, and this was a little bit better. But it's crazy that with K, and this has been since last year. So last year was the same concept, and I've been hip to this since last season, which is Tatum more rebounds with KP.
Okay, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, the reason it's such an incredibly awesome bet is because you would just not think that. You would not think that with his starting center in, he's getting more rebounds than when his starting center doesn't play. I don't know how often you'll see that. Although I will say it makes sense to a degree where when you watch where he's playing and who he's guarding, where he's standing on the floor, when they have a shot blocker like KP, they allow Tatum to sort of sit off and not play against the best players. So he's guarding dudes that are standing in the corner. He's guarding dudes that are standing, closer to the basket, but not necessarily looking to get involved in the shooting of the offense. When KP is not out there, he has to guard the best, wing player or versatile wing to big player that they have on the other team. And then he's taking the guy that's shooting a lot more, right? And when you guard the guy that's shooting a lot more, you're not in position to go get the rebound. That's a big part of the KP thing there. But yeah, even if you just look at their minutes on the floor together this season, Jason Tatum's at like 13 rebounds per 36 minutes with Kristaps. He's at about 9 or 8 rebounds per 36 minutes without Kristaps, which is just crazy. So it's the clear cut like change in how their defensive scheme works out as much as anything for Tate. So yeah, I'm with you. It's a perfect matchup, and he's missed it recently. I've tried to hit him once in the last 3 games because there was only 1 KP game in there. He still didn't hit it, so I'm still down to go back to it. Yeah, 8 of 23 without KP, and with KP in 11 rebounds, 6 of 9. That's very nice. That's pretty, yeah. I didn't even know that KP part. That's a good look. Do you have anything else for this game specifically?
that you wanted to touch on?
I would always be eyeing Derek White and catch and shoot players versus the Thunder. I think T. White and Drew Holiday are both in line for pretty big games, which leads me, if we don't have Jaylen Brown, leads me to like assists for Tatum as well. Those are, you can get 4.5 in some spots, but if you want to not drink the juice, it's 5.5 for the dimes. But it's basically that the Thunder are going to overpressure the ball handler and force it out of that person's hands. There isn't one true ball handler for the Boston because they can swing it so easily. But Derek White is usually on the back end of the ball swings that turn into catch and shoot shots. So any catch and shoot player that's going up against OKC, I'm just going to keep banging on them.
Yeah, and like they're like corner 3, second most on the right, 12th most on the left, or 12th fewest on the left. But you combine those, they gave up a lot of corner 3s, long story short. 100%. And then Derek White, looks like he's like shoot. I guess maybe it's a little bit of the same. I was looking at him with and without KP, but I guess it's a little bit of the same. But yeah, the thing with the Celtics is I just never know what catch and shoot guy it's going to be. Is it going to be Derek White? Is it going to be Drew Holiday, who's been shooting well recently? Yeah. Is it going to be KP himself?
We got to know if Jaylen Brown's playing, because there's just too much usage. The ball's in his hands too often. He's the focal point. As soon as Tatum's off the court, it's like Jaylen Brown's like, great, mom and dad are away. I can finally play because Jason Tatum's on the court. So now he can just shoot every damn time and no one's going to tell him to stop if he wants to. So that's what scares me about it. But I think Derek White 15.5 points is a steal if Jaylen Brown is out. But that number looks like it's still based on Jaylen Brown being in, who has a 19.5 point prop up. So we got to wait to see on that stuff. So.
There we go. Yes, maybe we wait on Jaylen Brown, but I'm assuming you think Tatum rebounds is a play regardless.
I do. I think with KP in there against this Thunder team, that's going to end up being a play regardless. Yeah.
Okay. And then the only other bet I had was DeJounte Murray. I took his assists. Normally I try to stay away from these plays where it's like they're literally just a back-to-back between these two teams, Pelicans and Wizards. Yeah. But he had 12 assists. He only had 15 potentials, which is always scary. But I took him over 8.5. It's actually, you can get better odds. So I took it at plus 100. You can now get that at plus 105. And then I also laddered him up to 10 plus for a half unit.
Awesome.
But the reason why this was a play, it's like he's only played 18 games. He's only hit it in 7. So like that hit rate's going to scare people off. Yeah. But the Wizards have given up the 4th most assists in the NBA total. 11 of the last 15 against the Wizards. Point guards have hit their over. And if you look at him, that's not what I want. If you look at games where he's played teams in the bottom 10 of assists allowed, it's not a ton of games, but he's hitting 4 or 5 and he's averaging 10. And he's hit 10 in all the ones that he went. He had a weird game where like he played 35 minutes and only had 4 potential assists. Like you just chalk that up to the game. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. But 10, 15, 12 on 15, 17, 18 potential assists.
He was probably also just shooting a ton against Phoenix. I think he had a bunch of points in that game. That could have been part of it too. It's not just sucked.
Yeah, just one of those games. It happens.
Yeah. Interesting. Somebody might have gone off. CJ had 53 the other night.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
I took him for over 21.5, and most of the VIP Discord, love you guys, but most of my VIP Discord was like, why CJ? Why CJ? Why would you not take DeJounte Murray? I was like, I have my reasons. I just gave you really simple reasoning. It's
yeah,
TJ.
I love that. So when you give out a play and they're like, why are you betting that? It's like, I could just explain it. Like, I don't know. I can't give you anything more than what I already said. Yeah.
But they're just bad about CJ. Sar is in this game too, man. Free Sauce I think Free Sauce is like, maybe he's in my Discord too, one of the VIP cappers in there giving out plays. He's been on Alex Sar for a minute. I feel like he's like Alex Sar's like
long lost brother,
guardian, or like dad, or like older brother, because he also calls him young man all the time. He's like, I really like what I'm seeing from the young man, which is really funny. But he's right, that Sar has been crushing. He called Sar again on the PA last game. So yeah, they're Alex Sar is balling. This is a terrible down low defense against centers. No offense to you, Eve Missy, other rookie here, who I think is in like 3rd in the rookie of the year voting, which is where we're at with this year's rookie class. But they're going up against each other. Sar just dominated him last game, and I don't see any reason not to go back to him. So I got to look at it a little bit more closely, but I think Sar is going to be a play again. Is he at 11.5 points, or did that go up?
He's at 12.5.
Yeah, 12.5 starts to piss me off, but 11.5 is a great number for him all season. So we'll have to see.
Why not 15 plus? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right, obviously.
Because he's looks like after a slow start, averaging 14 points, 9 of his last 15.
Yeah.
And he
Good stuff.
he went 0 of 2 from 3, still scored 19 points. And like he
Right.
was shooting prior to that. Like he had hit 2 in
Right.
6 straight games, 8 straight games.
2 threes has been the play. This is one of the worst, maybe the worst catch and shoot defense for an NOP as well. So yeah, that all makes sense. And this is a good point though with SARS. Kuz is back. Kuz's usage is continuing to go up. He had more shots last game than he was taking. But yeah, if you look at there's probably something to Kuzma not being in there. Although he's been in there the last like 7. It's just that his usage has been really low and his minutes have been really low in all those games. He got hurt, blah blah blah. So yeah, we'll see how he continues to impact him. But it's a good at least mention that Kuzma being in there could impact the amount of usage that we've seen Sar having as of late.
Cool. I didn't have anything else. I just on days when I'm focusing heavily on NBA or NFL, three NBA plays and I'm done. So there's probably stuff that I missed. But is there anything else that you just wanted to look at real quick?
No, I got to get into it. I guess if I were to just hand out some quick ones, I'm going to that Dubs Kings game tonight.
Nice.
We'll be probably betting on Steph Curry because it's Steph Curry versus the Kings, which if you just look at like stat use it or something, it's like, I don't know, 32 points per game or something. Every time I've gone to see a Steph Curry versus Kings performance, it's just pure entertainment. He missed yesterday because they didn't want him to play against Memphis, still won the game, but then came back, has crushed him in the playoffs, crushed him consistently. So probably be betting on Steph, Wardell, Steph, and Curry, I believe.
He missed the last game against the
missed it. So you know what we say about those recent results.
Yeah, you fade those. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean,
I like it.
Averaging 26 on the year, not so much recently. Oh, that was last year. That's why I was okay. Never mind. I was like, something seems off here. Anyways, okay.
Well, yeah, about last year. Yeah. I see. Oh, you had the filter on.
Yeah, I just looking at last season.
Right.
Anyways,
no, he was actually better last season. I will say, at least scoring wise, because he had to be. But and then someone did bring up Da Silva, young ruler here. I will be probably looking at Da Silva again against the Yaz. I think Suggs is out and Black is in, so I'll be looking.
Suggs
at
is
guys.
out.
Yeah, I'll be looking at those guys and some Goga love as well. But there's not much left out there for the Magic, and still Da Silva was real nice last game. So yeah, I think I took him for 2 threes last game. He hit 5. I think I'll probably go back to some Da Silva stuff, but he is going to need Anthony Black out there to feed in the ball. So maybe some Anthony Black assists. I'm just going up against the Jazz and just being like, oh great, this defense, let's get it. Jordan Clarkson being out sucks because he is a sieve on defense, and now it's gonna be more Sexton. But yeah, I got more stuff to look at, so I don't have anything. I know we've been running for an hour or so I won't keep you.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was, like I said, I only bet those 3, and then I washed my hands clean of the NBA, and I hope those 3 go well. If I miss stuff, so be it. After today, it's mostly going to be NBA because the NFL playoffs is you're looking at a couple games a week. So
precisely.
Cool. All right. Well, appreciate everybody for tuning in. It was a very active chat, which is always great. Josh, everybody here knows where to find you because this is also on your channel. So it's the same thing for me, which is the beauty of doing this. Everybody bet responsibly. Appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.